Welcome back everybody, Dave the Gamer here. Today wanted to make a little guide on what to do at level 60. First off, congrats! Half the battle is done and now you can begin actually playing the game. Granted, I loved the whole leveling experience, so hopefully you cherished it and you didn't just pay someone and sit in a dungeon while you got boosted. So hopefully you went through everything and you got a chance. If this is your first time, amazing experience. I know we're about 2 months into the anniversary patch as far as that goes. And someone, I was able to level up decently fast, but I'm only able to play about 2 hours a day, a little bit more on my off days from work since I work 60, 70 hours a week. So it's awesome that you're finally here, and now there's so much more to actually get involved. So to give you an idea of some of the things that you want to partake in now that you're level 60. So first off, I would say get into PvP. So with PvP, and I'll show you just as an example with my class in general. So as a hunter, so it's not that bad. To get to like rank 10 is really not that bad in PvP. You're going to run AV a bunch of times. And once you're into PvP, if you look at just the rare item sets, a lot of these items are actually really good. Some of them will battle, pretty close to what you're going to get in raids as far as that goes. Lots of agility, lots of stamina. So you really can't go wrong getting to rank 10 and you're able to pick up all the different gear here. That's going to, be a huge boost overall as far as that goes. Not to mention by the time you get rank 10, you're going to become exalted in AV. So with AV, the big thing, like for me, for Hunter, is I got the finger off it, which gives me crit hit and everything else. So gearing wise, PvP is not only, I think, a blast, but you're also going to unlock a lot of different items that would have taken you a pretty good bit to get through dungeons as far as that goes. So I personally play the game because I love PvP, so a lot of times I do raids, I do dungeons, I do all that to get strong enough gear to compete in PvP. Now, Classic doesn't have as much of a PvP scene as far as they don't have arenas, and later phases will unlock different activities to do in PvP, even on Classic, but it's still a blast. So it depends on if you're a PvP server or a PvE server. I went PvE this time around. I know it's the first time I did, but it's just a blast. Whether open world fighting people, everything, that whole experience is just awesome in general. As far as you're really matching up against someone, testing your skills. So that's a fun thing to do at level 60. Highly recommend it. Then if you want to get into the actual raiding scene, I highly recommend Mode 4, since you can only raid essentially once a week. Now as later phases go on, like your guild might have multiple different raid nights. Maybe one's going through Oni and Molten Core, and then the other one's going through Molten Core or BWL and Zul'Gurub, depending on maybe one day is gearing up people that are trying for something specific like Thunder Fury, while the other guild is really progressing further, so you can get multiple raid nights in. I highly recommend at least getting your pre-raid best in slot, and you're going to do that through all the dungeons. So like I said, level 60, there's so much to do. So I'm sure you have already done a ton of dungeons along your way. At least I hope you did. I got to experience all that. But now that you're at the higher levels here, so really from lower, actually Blackrock depths, the whole way down, you have about 10 different new dungeons that you're going to be grinding over and over. Depending on your class, say Blackrock Depths, you might be grinding that for a while because everybody wants a Savage Gladiator chain, which is amazing for a lot of different classes. Or you might be going to Upper Blackrock Spire to farm Jed, and you're really trying for that Briarwood Reed. Or you might be, hey, you're going to be the skinner for the raid. So you need to come in here and get the skinning blade that you're going to need to be able to skin the dogs inside Molten Core. So, and like, there's so much good stuff in here. Like, I know I probably did this raid 50 times to get the True Strike shoulders. So these raid or dungeons you're going to live in for a while. So it's you're gonna make some decent gold off it. You're gonna make lots of friends. You're gonna really grind to get all the gear. And if you don't know what I mean by pre-raid best in slot, I highly recommend downloading the add-on Loon Best in Slot, or check out my add-on video in general. It's gonna help you really in gearing. But I'm able to pick my class, and I can go from head to shoulders, whatever, and then it's going to show you what the pre-raid best in slot is and what dungeon you want to actually do it from. So, and like I said, like if you hover over and you see, and that's a separate add-on I have, you gotta really check out the add-on video. But when I see something like True Strike shoulders, look how many people best in slot that is. 10 different people's best in slot. You're going to, like, in that dungeon there's 10 people instead of 5 people, so you're battling against everybody. So if you do get it to drop in 30 dungeon attempts, I only seen it drop once. Thankfully I was the only one that still needed it. Compared to you get something like this out of Strat Live, I'm really the only person that wants that. So a lot easier to go this direction, and this add-on helps you make those decisions as you're deciding and getting that gear. I do highly recommend getting the pre-raid best in slot. Your guildies are gonna love you for it, because the raids are gonna go much smoother, faster overall, and it looks like you put some effort in before just expecting a handout from the raid and them carrying you. Nothing wrong with that, but if everybody's in that gear, it's going to take a lot longer. Still not a terrible thing. You might go an entire raid and not even get any items. So that's why, I mean, what are you doing with your time? So like, I spend my time either doing PvP, getting to rank 10, and eventually I might get rank 14 because you can get some good items out of it, though. Those items, depending on your class, like warrior, the weapons are amazing. There's some weapons and different things that are absolutely amazing for rank 14, but it's a heck of a grind. A lot of time, 500,000 honor you need to get in a week. So you're spending a ton of time, but it's a nice fun activity to do if you don't mind doing that type of PvP / PvE interaction as far as that goes. So you got PvP, you got 10, 15 different dungeons you're going to grind, and then you're going to get into, okay, we're doing Molten Core and Onyxia. So like, I do my raids on every Wednesday, so I look forward to Wednesday. I know for 2 hours where I'm going to go in with 40 different people, and we're going to grind out Molten Core and Onyxia. Sometimes with Onyxia, the way the reset timers go, you might be able to do it twice in a week. But everything's like a big build up to that. And then for me, the next big thing I like to do is I'm already mentally thinking about TBC. Probably a year and a half away. I'm not 100%, somewhere around there. You're going to need a lot of gold. So I plan to go into TBC with anywhere from 5 to 10,000 gold, so I can get epic flying the day I get in there, and then I'm able to capitalize level faster than most people. Like, it really will speed up everything. And getting 5 to 10,000 gold, that takes a while. Most gold farms outside of just being a mage where you can pull an entire dungeon net you like 40 to 80 gold an hour. So you're talking about hundreds of hours to get there. So for me, I don't want to just PvP to rank 10 or 14 nonstop every day, or dungeon. Like, I will lose my mind. So I personally break it up. So I might do a dungeon or two, get it, try to go for that one item, that one headpiece, and then boom, I switch over to PvP. Maybe I do a couple, 4 or 5 of those, and then okay, I like to farm for gold early in the morning or late at night when there's not as many people on the game itself, and then I go to the different locations. If it's like I'm to grind this one monster Like I have a ton of videos on, you know, the best places to actually farm and grind a monster outside of just pulling dungeons as a mage and stuff like that. So check those videos out. But I try to break it up, and I try to do my gold farm in the morning, like super early in the morning for an hour or two, super late at night for an hour or two. The PvP, I try to do more towards like the busier time of day. Same with the dungeons, because more people are on and it's easier to find groups. So just to recap, I mean, those are just a couple ideas. I mean, people get into role playing and hanging out with their friends, and you might do dungeons for lower level guildies to kind of help them get geared up, and like you're truly making friends with your guild. I highly recommend getting a good guild, and I'll talk about that in a later one of how to pick a guild. But yeah, PvP, dungeons, all gearing up for raiding. Like, it's a heck of an experience. There's so much to do, and in future expansions, there's even more. But I do highly recommend, if you plan to play TBC, start thinking about that gold making method now, to have enough when that day comes, so you're not trying to farm 5,000 gold all month before it launches. That you're just chipping away, you know, 100 a week or whatever, until that eventually comes out and you're perfectly there. Then you can get into, like, for gold making, I dive into all the profession making, and so I spend probably, you know, 30 minutes a day on the auction house, playing the auction house. I feel like I'm a Wall Street trader down there flipping gold. That's actually my guy's name, Flipping Gold. So there's so much to do in this game. But just PvP, dungeon, and raiding is going to keep you more than busy with different activities to do. And there's so much to learn. So stay tuned. Watch my other videos. Please leave a comment below what type of videos you want to see. Is it some beginner videos, more gold making? Love to hear your guys' feedback. And as always, game on.